The story of how Athena came to be is like something out of a soap opera, full of drama and hidden meanings. It's all about the crazy family squabbles of the Greek gods, with Zeus pulling off a clever trick, and then boom, Athena shows up, ready to rock as the goddess who's all about smarts, bravery, and keeping society running smoothly. So, let's talk about why Zeus ended up having Athena pop out of his head, which sounds pretty wild, right? Well, it's all tangled up in those old Greek myths. Zeus was the baby of the family, with Cronus and Rhea as his parents. There was this rumor going around, thanks to the Oracle of Delphi, that Zeus was going to kick his dad off the throne and take over. And guess what? That's exactly what happened, and it kicked off a whole bunch of crazy stories that we're still talking about today. Cronus was really paranoid about a prophecy that said one of his kids would overthrow him, so he took to eating them the moment they were born. Pretty gruesome, right? Rhea, his wife, was heartbroken every time she lost a child this way. So when Zeus came along, she hatched a plan. She hid Zeus away and tricked Cronus by giving him a rock dressed up like a baby instead. Cronus, none the wiser, just swallowed the rock, thinking he'd outsmarted his fate again. Growing up on the sly in Crete, Zeus hit his stride as a grown-up and, with a bit of plotting from his mom and Metis, one of those ancient Titan ladies, came up with a scheme to topple his old man, Cronus, and bust his brothers and sisters out of their dad's gut. This whole family feud, which folks call the Titanomachy, ended with Zeus giving Cronus a taste of his own medicine and kicking the Titans to the curb. That's how Zeus ended up being the big boss of, well, pretty much everything. Zeus becoming the big boss of the gods wasn't a walk in the park, let me tell you. He had to deal with some serious tough guys, the giants. These huge, scary monsters popped up from where Uranus, who had a pretty bad day if you ask me, bled into the sea. They were dead set on kicking the gods out of their cushy home on Mount Olympus and taking over. So, they picked a fight with Zeus and his family, and boy, was it a messy showdown. This whole rumble was called the Gigantomachy. Back when things were really chaotic, Zeus was pretty stressed and decided to ask Metis for some advice. Metis was super smart and crafty, and she had this vision that if she had a kid, that kid would be even more powerful than Zeus. So, she told Zeus the only way to stop that from happening was for him to eat her up. It sounds crazy, but Zeus went for it. He swallowed Metis whole, and by doing that, he got all her smarts and the ability to see into the future. As time went on, Zeus started getting these terrible headaches. He was pretty sure it was because he had swallowed Metis earlier on. Desperate for some relief, he begged Hephaestus, the god who was a whiz with all things metal and fire, to crack his head open with his hammer. Imagine Zeus's shock when Athena burst out, decked out in battle gear, with a battle cry so loud it shook the skies. Athena's story is pretty cool when you think about it. It's like she's the ultimate brainchild, literally popping out of Zeus's head all grown up and ready to go. She's a reminder that smarts and a good plan can beat just throwing punches, and she's got all of Zeus's cleverness and ability to think ahead. It's like she's the poster child for the power of a great idea. Athena is a really interesting character in Greek myths. She's not just about fighting, she's super smart, too, and has a thing for helping people get better at making stuff and coming up with cool new ideas. Picture her as this tough lady in shiny armor, always ready to jump into a battle to protect her home, but also as someone who's got your back when you're trying to learn something new or get creative. You know, when Zeus decided to have Athena spring out of his head, it was pretty much a power move. He wanted to make sure he stayed the top dog in the universe and didn't want anyone questioning his rule. By having Athena come directly from him, he made sure she was loyal only to him since, well, she literally came from him. It's like he was keeping it all in the family to make sure he stayed in charge. You know, the story of Athena's birth is pretty wild. It's like the ultimate team-up. Zeus, the big guy in charge, got together with Metis, who was super smart and could see the future. They combined their superpowers, and bam! Athena popped out, fully grown and decked out in armor. She turned out to be one of Zeus's go-to helpers, always there with a good strategy or a wise word when he needed it. It just goes to show that when you work together, you can create something or someone amazing. So, the tale of how Athena came into the world is super important in all those old Greek myths. It's all about power plays, spooky predictions, and the gods being clever as usual. When Zeus had Athena, yeah, that's right, he actually gave birth to her. It really showed how complicated things were with the gods and how they were always changing the rules. Athena's a big deal because she's all about being smart, brave, and coming up with cool new ideas. She's like the poster child for what ancient Greece was all about, and even now, people can't stop talking about her, making art about her, and just being blown away by her story. We can't wait to share more awesome tales and cool facts with you. Make sure you don't miss out. Go ahead and subscribe, give a thumbs up if you like what you see, and why not leave a comment? We'd love to hear your thoughts and get to know you better. We're all about keeping the stories and the fun going. Can't wait to see you on our next wild ride through these epic stories.